Trump has given no official info about his medical care for days since an assassination attempt. Trump's campaign has refused to discuss his condition, release a medical report, or records to the public, or make the doctors who treated him available. The responses from random people online were predictable. It's been the case for everything political since the advent of social media. People see what they want to see and post what they think they saw, because it fits their personal narratives to their social media. People then in turn create echo chambers for themselves by only listening to the people who are telling them the narrative they want to hear, and assuming that most people think the way they do because they've shut out most alternative viewpoints. Then they're shocked when elections are as close as they are. With the exception of the debate last month, what was surprising about that to many of us on the right was that so many people on the left finally admitted publicly that Biden didn't seem all there. At least some did initially before the "he had a cold" narrative took hold. During the debate itself, there's a good deal of doom posting from leftist pundits. Anyway, like I say, people will see what they want to see. The Civil War and "this was staged" narratives by each side were predictable. As with any highly publicized shooting, before anything's known about the shooter, the fringes on both sides are making predictions and focusing on the shooter's demographics to see which pre-written narrative they get to pull out. One new narrative emerged from this event, though, which was unexpected for me, and as a tall man myself, Trump's 6'3" and I'm about 6'6", it was one of the first things I noticed when I saw the video of the event. My thought process went something like this. Those are gunshots. He's got blood on his face. That lady's way too short to be his bodyguard. How's she supposed to protect him from getting shot if he's a head taller than her? Why can I even see his head? No one in the crowd should be able to see him if someone in the crowd's trying to kill him, but that lady who's supposed to be blocking the view from the crowd just isn't tall enough. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure that lady's a badass and could kick my ass. I'm sure she's a professional and was doing everything according to her training. You can't train someone to be taller. Part of your job is to literally shield someone from being shot. Wouldn't one of the necessary qualifications be as tall, if not taller, than the person you're shielding? The right wing predictably jumped on the "she's a DEI hire" narrative. I'm not jumping on that. I'm just saying that, again, as a tall man myself, her inability to shield his whole body was something I noticed as soon as I watched it. Also, I thought that those podiums always had bulletproof glass in front of them. The lack of information continues a pattern for Trump, who has released minimal medical information throughout his political career. I doubt that they tried anything. It's more likely that one person came up with the idea and executed it on his own. Was he trying to kill Trump, or trying to miss to help Trump win, or just trying to become famous? Far too early to tell. He was a registered Republican for the past 3 years, it seems, but also appears to have donated $15 to the Democrats. So perhaps a never-Trump Republican who decided to take matters into his own hands? If you want a conspiracy theory, though, how about this? Maybe he was manipulated into doing this by Putin's army of psych operators. Well, this doesn't make sense for Democrats or Republicans, as it's entirely too chancy on either side. Putin wins simply by increasing the chaos in the country, so it would work for him regardless of the outcome. I don't think this is a likely scenario. As I said, lone gunman is far more likely. But of the conspiracy notions, this one seems a better fit than most. The first word on Trump's condition came about half an hour after shots rang out, and Trump dropped to the ground after reaching for his ear and then pumped his fist defiantly to the crowd with blood streaming down his face. The campaign issued a statement saying he was fine and being checked out at a local medical facility. More details will follow, his spokesperson said. Former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows wrote in his book that Trump's blood oxygen dropped to a dangerously low level and that there were concerns that Trump wouldn't be able to walk on his own if he waited longer to be transported to Walter Reed for treatment. Trump's appeared at the Republican National Convention the past 3 days with a bandage over his right ear. But there's been no further word since Saturday from Trump's campaign or other officials on his condition or treatment. Instead, it's been allies and family members sharing news. You may or may not remember that he actually got a lot of support from American far-right politicians as well, since he actually had a shot at becoming the prime minister. While that failed with his party's continued popularity, he'll likely have another shot with the next election. This is what happens. You can kill Trump all you want, but you won't silence the crowd who voted for him. If anything, you'll just make them more passionate, more aggressive even. They'll simply latch onto the next guy with a similar agenda, and the next, because until the problem gets solved at its core, the reason why they voted for Trump to begin with, nothing will change. If it wasn't Trump, it would have been someone else. If not now, then later.